Hello and welcome to my evaluation video on how effective is the combination of my main product and ancillary text, that being my music video of We Didn't Start the Fire by King Charles, along with the ancillary text of the poster and the digipack. We'll also gain a brief mention of the CD. Okay, let's start onto the digipack. There it is. The top bit is the front and back, and the bottom is the inside. I'll explain further in a minute. Adobe Photoshop was the platform used to make this digipack, which will add additional extras, fire and mask, etc., taken from a Nikon camera, not stolen from the internet. In case any of you think I'm copywriting, I can raise my hand and say that I'm not. Well, I am raising it, but you can't really see it, can you? Let's start on this bit, which is on the right here is the front cover, and here's the back, in case you hadn't already gathered. As the main song is called We Didn't Start the Fire, I wanted to represent the metaphor into a realistic point of view, much like to what the music video does in terms of media controls the world, hence the fire that's all around here. It is the only source of lightness in the digipack in order to show that the burning represents a light in a dying world, to represent a deep meaning. I chose the mask of Prince Charles, even though he doesn't properly appear in my music video, to gain a close reference to the artist King Charles, who is an anarchist as implied in the lyrics of the song, such as I'm still loyal to the Queen and she's still loyal to you and me. The masks behind King Charles, which are like all the ones around here, were added at quite a late notice to represent that the world is entirely dominated with these populist figures and that there is no chance of getting away from them. This is also implied in my music video, therefore creating synergy, as the protagonist cannot get away from any of these masks, and he's basically surrounded by all of them. The hand here is actually my hand, and symbolizes that of a resistance logo used in many propaganda posters in the communist states. I wanted it to represent a subtext that there should be a resistance to stop the media having all this power. In this poster, it represents a hand similar of that to a resistance fist, retrieving a mask from the fire. A mask from the fire which they had caused. The hand looks burnt to represent it is from the frames the media has created. Okay, and here is the inside of my digipack, with the left being where the leaflet is kept and the right being where the CD is held, but that is not the CD itself. We'll get onto that. For this panel, well, for both of them, I decided to use the title of the main song blurred behind the characters in order to make it look more surreal and obscure, the most popular convention in alternative rock genre. This quote here, though we did ignite it, but we tried to fire it, I added this quote because it feels like an evaluation of our place on society itself, making us think as to who's really to blame for this. Is it really the government? Is it or could it be us or another figure or something? To carry out synergy across all three products, I also intended for this disc to look very similar as well, with the disc also having a similar resemblance to what is behind it, to get a similar yet different meaning of what the masked characters could represent. By behind it, I mean on the digipack, not just the words behind on the disc. Also, the bit I've just showed you on the digipack. This poster here, we'll have a look at that now. The Levi-Strauss series says there should be a binary opposition in every media text. In this instance, I've decided these should be the masked characters of all the celebrities, which is why in all three contexts, I've implied that the bad guys, or the protagonists, are in fact the guys in masks, to hint Levi-Strauss. By putting the mask surrounded by fire and darkness, as he is in the poster, not unlike the digipack where he's surrounded by celebrities, the audience quickly realised that these masked characters are not to be trusted. This is put across in all three products, with the music video also giving a sense of distrust towards these characters. Similarities. Many would notice that this has a very close resemblance to the digipack cover. The only slight difference is the background. This was to make the ancillary product recognizable to each other. Okay, here's similarities. As the theme of many alternative rock genres were dark and occasionally meaningful, I decided to conform to these attributes and create a dark piece with a strong subtext. This would appeal to my chosen audience. The darkness is in the video in the chorus scene also. The mask aspect, as is seen in all products, needed to be the main focus, as it makes it immediately recognizable across all three products. Also, as it is something so unfamiliar, it draws attention from others, therefore creating synergy from the concept which had been created from it. Okay, and the conclusion to all this. These three items all show a fine amount of synergy, with the iconic concept, specific parts represented throughout all three products, therefore hopefully making the audience think that they can form a similar style. Many would suggest, however, that the ancillary products are perhaps too focused on being familiar, not towards the video, as though the post and the digipack are familiar. However, the video itself doesn't really hint and is not familiar enough towards the video. The main product needs to have a wider, more obvious sense of synergy. There are similarities, but it is not completely obvious like in the poster and the digipack. They need to form a trio of complete and utter focus on all three things. Of course, there are key features, but it's still not good enough, is it? But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. I've made it as fun as possible. But yeah, all right. Have a good night.